Babylon. Okay, so remember you can get in touch with me. That's on Twitter at Jambi Koikai, or on Facebook, that's Jambi Koikai. And of course, do you have a Facebook page, Hughie?
Yes, it's...
Sorry.
Yes, my Facebook page is just Hughie Rose, but I do feel that it's actually full right now. But you can still follow me. But I do have a new Twitter page, which is at Hughie Rose. HUGHIEROSE lowercase. So it's HUGHIEROSE. That's lowercase. And you can follow me on Twitter. On Facebook, it's Hughie Rose. I've got a picture there of Gambia in the sun, and obviously the 50th anniversary of Gambia.
I've seen it. Just
so,
followed.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Facebook, or you can follow me on Twitter. No problem. So that's fine.
Yes.
Black Power.
Yeah, Black Power. And of course, we're still talking about Black Power. And the reason why... like what Taras, there's a young man here named Taras who just sent in a message, and he said that that we're still slaves, we're not free, and we're still beggars of Babylon.
Yeah, well, he's 100% correct, because when you can in 2015 be denied entry into a Chinese restaurant which is on the soil of Africa, and you've got African employees and even African senators. Is it Mike Sonko?
Yeah.
How on earth can Mike Sonko go and defend Chinese people, but yet he will go in there for a bite to eat, but yet his constituents in the ghettos of Nairobi can't even find a bite to eat, but yet he wants to defend Chinese nationals that have no business here.
But you know,
so I won't defend that. At no point in time is when I'm in the UK, no white man comes out to defend any black man when a black man does wrong. So why on earth would an African, an Uncle Tom, a scared to death Negro, come and defend a Chinese? When I was in China, there was thousands of Kenyans that could not make no contact with their Kenyan embassy when they got arrested by Chinese. But yet, Senator Sunk Mike can come and defend illegal Chinese immigrants who want to deny black Africans access to a restaurant where they're cooking cat, dog, all manners of evil, but yet won't give you a look-in after 5. They need to burn the restaurant down, deport them, and never ever give them entry back into Kenya. Black Power.
They've been arrested.
Yeah, that's not good enough. Because in Kenya, you can be arrested and pay your way out. I don't want them to pay their way out. I want them to be disciplined. Like if a Kenyan committed a crime in China, you can't pay your way out of China. Never. You're getting deported, you're going to jail, you may even get killed in jail. So I want the Kenyan government to do due process and check with the immigration authorities and deport all of those Chinese employees, because some of those black employees were disrespected, called names. Some of them have been sacked because they had the opportunity to speak to the media. See, Kenyans need to stop this foolishness of hiding. Stop hiding because the Chinese man's going to give you a wage, or the Tubab or the Wazungu is going to give you a wage, and you keep quiet about the disrespect they give you. Talk up and be proud. You see, in Jamaica, we're known because we talk up. That's why you got a Marcus Garvey. That's why you got someone like a Nanny who beat the British down from the Maroons. Because we don't play that. When something's wrong, we stand up. And it's about time now that you took a leaf out of the marmals and you stood up as a young generation, because the majority of you now are young people between the ages of 15 to 30. And you need to stop the foolishness and allowing people to play you off. And you need to stand up.
how are you gonna? I totally understand you and I totally agree with you as a matter of principle that people need to stand up, against against what's wrong and against what's happening and so many wrong things taking place from politics to social issues, right? But how are you going to stand up, especially Kenyans? And we know for a fact that Kenyans do not stand up. We like to, and especially since after the advent of social media, right? We go on social media and rant about it, and we're not going to stand up for nothing. And well, it's a very important tool, and it's a very important means of communication, and it's also acted as a means of change, especially to very many issues. And even with the Chinese issue, it actually prompted for the arrest. But like I said, we can no listen, Hughie. We can come out and fight against. I mean, and we can come out and say that the Chinese were racist and the Chinese, don't want to see black people in their restaurant. But how about when I look at you and I think that you're from a certain community, I can't accommodate you. I'm not tolerant about you. And we're Kenyans. We're Kenyans. I hate you to the point that once we start having a conversation and I realize I have to find out your last name and then I stereotype you because of where you come from. I wouldn't want you around me because of where you come from. I wouldn't want my children to mix with your children because of where you come from. I don't want anything to do with you because of where you come from. And I label that. Don't you think that's some level of hypocrisy that is crazy?
Well, what it amounts to, my sister, is that Kenya has a leadership problem. And if you want to solve a solution, it needs to come from the leadership down. And what's happening is that President Kenyatta, he has to show leadership where it trickles down, where right now leadership is not being shown in Kenya. It's been shown from the grassroots up, but when it gets to a certain level, it dissolves. So I call on the president to show leadership, whether it's corruption, whether it's injustice, whether it's sexism, whether it's racism. It must come from the leadership down. And then you need to overrule and overthrow the system that you've had in place. It can't be done overnight. And what is the weakness of Kenya is that Kenya will allow a police commissioner to come before a board and say he's got 13 million shillings in his account, but that he can't account for. And then they'll give him the job as the commissioner. That has to change.
But don't you think it's also a mirror of who we are? That we are the leadership that we have.
What it is that what I see in Kenya is you're duplicating the white man, because this is exactly what the white man does in England.
I do not think I tend to disagree with you.
No, well, you can't disagree with me because I live there and I was born there, I was raised there, and I see them doing exactly the same thing you're doing here in Kenya. But they learnt it from you, and that's why they're here, doing it here, because there is hundreds of thousands of English companies that are here, that are doing things in Kenya that they could never ever do in London, because the Kenyans party and going with them in it so that nothing won't happen. So what I'm trying to say to you is that if you took a stand morally, no other man, no other race can come and do to you what you're not going to do to yourself. So what I'm trying to say to you, sister, is that the mirror to me in Kenya is what I'm living in London. The corruption is heavy in London, but they don't push their business out there for you to see. So what the English come here and do, they come and tell you, do this, do that. But they're doing the same damn thing in England. But they call you on it, but they don't call their own brothers and sisters on it. So what I'm trying to say, you can't educate me about something I'm raised up in. I live there.
It's not about educating you about something that you've been raised in, but this is Kenya. I've been born here later. This is my motherland, right? And the same situation that my forefathers faced is the same situation that I'm facing right now. And looking at the leadership problem, like I told you, it is a mirror of who we are. These are the same leaders we've had over and over again come and give us the same rhetoric year in, year out. And we still vote for them, right? And
why do you vote for them then?
Because
that's your fault then.
Yes, that's exactly what I've been trying to tell you, because the leadership problem in Kenya is a mirror of who we are. That is our problem.
See,
that is
why,
our problem, because
why do you vote for the same people that do nothing for you after election time?
Biggest and best question you've asked, and that's exactly what I was telling you. That in itself is our own undoing. Because trust you me, 5 years ago, they came with the same rhetoric. They will come, give you water, give you good roads, give you, free school fees,
you know,
and stuff like that. And